What up, YouTube? Lawler here with some predictions. It is North America Open 1 for the RLCS 2025 season. As a reminder, chat knows what I'm alluding to. These are just for fun. These are for memes, for tomfoolery, for entertainment. At the end of the day, we're just here to have a good time. I do not expect any of these to happen. They are for hee-hees and ha-has. With that in mind, even though we say that, we still got 5 out of 6, right? Suck it. Jokes aside, let's get into it. We've got Group A, Group B. We're going to crush through these, and you guys are already going to see some tomfoolery as we go through. In Group A, we've got Gen G, which is the former Luminosity team. That is Reddles, Magic Bear, and Cheese. You got Energy, which is the former G2. Beast Mode, Daniel, and Atomic. Strictly Business, which, by the way, if you guys are watching this video on Thursday, on Friday, on this channel, twitch.tv/Lawler, I will be doing the team stream for Strictly Business with Danger Taco. Come hang out with us. Matches start at 1 p.m. Eastern. Going up against Space Station, this is the former Snowmen team. Strictly Business is Ixo, Seamus, and Crispy. Omelet is the former Cloud9 team, Percy, Lineblaze, same as before. We've got Gas, Garrett, AJ, and Squishy. Deleted, which is Gyro, Wavy, and Andy. Worstland, which literally stands for Wiener Stand, is, I think, the team with, like, what, PZY and all those guys on it. Why can't I think of their names? Let me look it up. Hold up. One sec. Hold. Everybody hold. Hazo, Jazzy, and PZY. Yeah, PZY apparently played really, really well during qualifiers. That is what we have in our first group. Going through our first group, you guys can see the results right away. Energy over Gen G. I understand Energy had a really bad qualifier. I went on a massive rant about Energy and NA's work ethic and all that kind of stuff and complacency. We've seen that historically with many teams. This is a kick in the pants. This is a wake-up call. They're playing tough seeds because of it. I expect them to lock in and then go and do what Energy does. Strictly Business versus Space Station. I'm going to believe in the old guard and the new guys that are over in NA for collegiate purposes. Instead of the young guns. I think the young guns still have a little bit to still prove, and I think they've got a tough side of the bracket this split, or this qualifier, open, whatever you want to call it. Gas versus Omelet. I do think Omelet can win and should win historically, but I'm picking Gas for content and for funsies. I think the guys with no pressure, nothing to lose, maybe a hidden sleeper pick. And then for Deleted, surprisingly enough, I think has a very easy bracket. Realistically, if I'm being serious, I foresee Deleted either losing this or losing this one to Omelet, if I was like predicting seriously with money on the line. But I do think Deleted has, from what I've seen, looked really, really good in scrims. I think they're a bit underrated, but it does come down to how impactful can Andy be. I know what I'm getting out of Wavy. I don't think there's any surprise there. I know what I'm getting out of Gyro. But it comes down to Andy. It's always going to be on Andy on that team and what they can do with him. If he has a big impact and a big defensive masterclass again, maybe. But I think the defense is where they're going to run out of gas. With that said, Gas does end up beating them. I think Gas actually would beat that team. I think it's going to be a really close match. It's going to come down to individual efforts. I could see Squishy and them really taking control of that series. So I do have Gas winning that. And then Energy, again, I do think is the better team. I don't think there's anything to talk about there. We joked about this one, and I said that Garrett literally owns part of Energy, so they have to forfeit. Garrett is basically like, I literally own you, Aaron Rodgers styles to the Bears, and then they forfeit. Lower bracket, Gen G I do think is better than Space Station, and Omelet is better than Wiener Stand. Gen G I think would win all the way through, even though they have a really tough first round. I do think they will make it through lowers, and we will see them in the top 8, albeit on the lower bracket with no extra life. On the other side, I do think Omelet and Strictly Business end up playing. We decided to say what is a yard, what it's miles per hours, and go with the EU over NA. This is 1000% bias for my team stream, so I have more content to farm. That's it. That's literally the decision for this. I do think Omelet would beat Strictly Business currently, but I also think it's a close game. 5 could go either way. And then I do have Gen G as probably a top 6 seed 9 out of 10 times in NA. So I'm going to continue to believe them. But I do think the 2 EU full imports could potentially upset that. between Strictly Business and Team Evo, which we're going to talk about now. In Group B, we've got Ultimates on top in the upper bracket, beating out Tech. I am losing more and more confidence of that Tech team by the minute, and Shopify Rebellion. We made a little bit of memery about the inconsistencies that is Shopify Rebellion. I can't honestly know what they're going to do, and you'll see that play out in the lower bracket in a second when we get to it. But I think Pirates on a boat is only going to get better with time. That team is, in my opinion, heavily reliant on 5UP having a world-class performance. I think 5UP is a very, very good player, but if he is not confident, you are not going to see it. And I'm hoping as the season continues, he starts to live up to that and starts to obtain his identity as a player. I have a lot of eyes on 5UP this season in particular because I've seen what Pope has done in the past and it's been fun to watch. But I do like 5UP. I do think he's a great addition. But can they really pull it together? Very interested to find out. With that in mind, I do think Rebellion is the better team, but ultimately loses to Ultimates because Ultimates is, in my opinion, one of the better teams. I think they're going to start really, really strong and then go down and kind of get worse as time progresses. That's my general assessment for their year. Complexity to me is number 3 team in North America right now behind NRG and Ultimates, and that's going to show throughout their bracket, beating Almost Nuts. And then 9 Lives versus Team Evo. If you guys don't know Team Evo, that is Speed, Relating Wave, and Arju, who, while I think they've got a very stable play style, I don't know if it's enough to push them over the edge. I hope they prove me wrong. I also haven't seen enough of 9 Lives. If you guys don't know 9 Lives, this is the Chicago Hoxer and Kover team. I think this team's got a lot of potential, but I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm very interested to just watch their matches in general. I do think they could push a top 4. Complexity is just good, so I don't think they're going to beat them. On the low side, we do have Pirates over Tech, and I have Evo over Almost Nuts. 9 Lives, I do think, is the better team over Pirates as of this current moment, but I could see that being a very close fight. And then with Rebellion and Evo, this is basically, how is Speed going to find a way to throw this? Love Speed, but how is he going to find a way to throw this against Rebellion, who shows that the only consistent thing is how inconsistent they are? So my assumption is this is somehow going to be a reverse sweep, or like something stupid's going to happen. It's going to end in an own goal in game 5 OT type of garbage. And Rebellion then is going to immediately come out and sweep and look like the best they've ever looked after that. And I don't know why, but that just feels very Shopify Rebellion-ish. That's just what I got for he-he's and ha-has. We then go to the lower bracket, and this is what I have. Complexity over Gas and Energy over Ultimates. In the lower bracket, Genji is going to win through. They're going to get 2 very favorable matches until they run up against the big bad NRG, and Rebellion in a game 7 banger against Strictly Business, which I think will be very, very entertaining. Ultimates, unfortunately, then for Rebellion, has to be on the receiving end. Ultimates then in a nail biter. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes both ways. If Complexity wins or Ultimates wins, I wouldn't be surprised. And I do think potentially whoever wins this goes and wins this in a game 7 banger. If it's Complexity, I would probably still pick Energy. But for Ultimates, I think Ultimates has the capability and the experience to go up against Energy. I think there's a lot of familiarity there. So that's what I have. That's what I've got. I know this is not going to be correct. I know this is chaotic. I know this is purely hee-hee-ha-ha for entertainment, which I always state, and that is the point. So that is what I have for my predictions for this week. While they are a little bit chaotic, I would not be surprised to consistently see one of the 3 between Energy, Ultimates, and Complexity in the grand finals the majority of the time, depending how the bracket plays out. With that in mind, if you guys are ever confused about how the seeding system works, which is called bushels, if you look up my video for the Energy versus Genji round 1, it's an NA recap video. In that video, I literally break down how the seeding and the tiebreakers work for the format. If you guys want a very simplistic understanding, it's in there. If you guys want to leave me your more serious predictions on who you think is going to take it, Energy, Ultimates, maybe somebody else, I would love to hear that too. That's going to do it for today's video. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.